Now that we have learned to design our app prototype from the previous 4 videos, we should know how to show it to the stakeholders for reviews and then to get their feedback. We should also learn how to export the respective assets for the developers to build our design into actual apps. Then we also want to look a little bit deeper on how to import and export our artwork To-and-fro Photoshop as well as Illustrator. This is important because both Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator are the main industry standard for a very long time when it comes to graphic design software. So let's dive into it. I've done some travel log design, just a few screens. Let's preview it. Let's go. I can book now, and then I can go to the next screen. Just a few screen options. Then I want to preview on my phone. I have my phone connect with the USB. Then whatever that I see on the screen, that I can actually have it. It will work exactly as it is. Then one thing good about previewing on the phone itself is whatever that you change is actually updated on the fly, as you can see. It's pretty cool, yeah? So let's say I'm happy with this design and I want to show it to the respective stakeholder. I can simply go to this share mode, all right? And then based on the setting that I choose, there's view setting here, design view review. And there are some other options like development, presentation, user testing. Yeah, I want to leave those as it is. I want to keep it to design reviews and simply keep it simple. Anyone with the link will do. And you should see a generate link here, but I just did this just now. So mine, it will be updated links. So what happened is when we click on this updated link, it will upload our XD file and put it onto Adobe Cloud Server. And then it will generate us a link. It's actually pretty fast because my file is very small. Then with this link, you can simply copy the link by clicking on this button, or you can actually click on this, you'll launch a browser. When your stakeholder get your link and will click on your link and they'll launch their browser and they can see the preview exactly like how you see on your XD. This is the browser, this is not XD. So when I click on this, you can see that it works just as it is. Easy peasy. The user have came back to me and gave me their opinion and feedback that they feel that my travel log is a little bit dark. They hope to see some colors and some maybe mascot of some people with funny expression to brighten this up. And then as well as some maybe some design ornaments, vector ornaments, icons, then so that to bring the screens, the design livelier. So based on their feedback, I've actually thought to use my own pictures as a test. And this is my wife and myself when we traveled in Seoul sometime last year. That I've actually aged her out, and this is how it is. This is my picture, and this is hers. Yeah, and looks good on white background. Looks good on green background as well. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, how about myself? Green background is fine. Black is fine, and white is fine as well. So there are a few ways that we can actually copy and import and export our graphic assets between Photoshop and Illustrator into XD or from XD itself. You want to know this because Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator, they are one of the oldest and graphic software around that have set the industry standard. So it will be great that if you know how to manipulate and draw, make graphics in Photoshop or Illustrator, depends on what type of graphics that you're working on. Then simply manipulate them, have them import and export into XD. That will actually up your game to another level. So let's say I want to have my pictures and put it into one of it, this edge out. I simply select it using the selection tool in Photoshop, and then I just do a copy. Come back here, and then based on whichever artboard I want to be in, maybe this first one, and I'll just paste, and you see it's nicely edged out for me. And I can manipulate it. I can put it here, somewhere very small. Maybe it doesn't work there. Maybe here. Yeah, somewhere at Myeongdong. Okay, you get the idea. So the next one I want to do is for this Auntie Wendy as well. She's already aged out. Of course, I can use the selection tool, have her selected and then copy and paste. But I do not want to do that. I want to show you one trick that you can, Adobe Photoshop actually let you do a drag and drop in between certain apps. So this is Auntie Wendy. I drag it into XD and I simply release and there she goes with the edge out. But it's very big because the picture itself is huge. So I have to make it smaller, make her look a lot smaller. And I want to flip her around so that she can be in this picture. No, it's not here. Flip her around using Object, Transform, Flip Horizontal, and maybe tweak the angle a little bit. The angle is a bit off. Let me zoom in a bit. There we go. You get the idea. All right. Let's say I'm happy with this and I want to export certain part or maybe just this part. Okay, not the picture itself, but I want to have this text and put it into Photoshop so that I can work on it. I can simply select whatever I want, just do a copy, edit, copy, and then go back to Photoshop and then have it paste. And there we go. This is the text in rasterized in bitmap for you nicely. All right, that's how you copy and paste object. Let's try another one, a button. Maybe it's clearer. Okay, simply have the button select, copy, and come over here and paste. So you have the book down button that you can change whatever, do whatever manipulation that you want. So you can crisscross and then have it put it back in XD. So that's for Photoshop. How about Illustrator for vector graphics? Okay, I have some icons that I've done for Illustrator. Some ornaments as well that I want to put it in. I want to put in this like airport flipboard. And then I have some Memphis design ornaments that I want to use it in to brighten up my design, as well as some icons. Let's copy and paste this simpler one first. All these icons are simple, just simple vector graphics. Is in SVG. Okay, so I can just simply copy, select them, copy, and then I want to put the review somewhere here. Have it paste, and then paste over. Okay, they are grouped together because that's how I selected it. I can simply right click and ungroup it so that they are individual assets now. I'm going to put it one side. I want to make it like 5-star or no, maybe 4-star, yeah? 4-star, and the last one, 5-star. Just leave it somewhere here and make it smaller. Right, and then choose the fill to match the icon colors. So this is vector graphics, and have this pushed down a little bit. Okay, I know it doesn't make sense, but well, it's just design ornaments. You get the idea. The next one I want to show you is that what happens if we put in something much more complicated from Illustrator. As you know that all these are vector graphics. Vector graphics simply means that they form the graphics through dots and then through the line in between, so that you can actually blow it up or make it smaller without losing the integrity of the graphics, which is unlike bitmap graphics. But each type of graphic have its own use. So what happened is that XD only takes in SVG, which is the simple vector graphics format. But Illustrator have much more capability to manage vector graphics. So what you can see here, if I copy this and paste it over here, you see the text immediately missing because the font type that I use in Illustrator is not available here. So it replaced some funny text for me. So even if I size it down or I size it up, you notice that how XD manage the vector is very different from how Illustrator manage. Illustrator, I can simply just drag it out, no problem. So how to solve this issue? You have to take note that not all vector graphics format are supported by XD at this moment. So what we'll do is, to fix this, simply delete this first. have this go through Photoshop, rasterize it first. I have this selected, copy, and then paste it in Photoshop. Now where's my Photoshop? Okay, I'll simply create a new file just to get the clipboard. Paste it in as pixel, that's fine with me. Alright, now it's rasterized. I just turn off the background and simply copy, or simply just drag this thing and drop it in to XD. Here we go. Then it's a bitmap graphic now, so you can actually put it smaller. And then maybe just leave it here. Voila. So that's how you can use 3 different software, Photoshop, Illustrator, as well as XD, and how you can manipulate and up your game and up your design so that you don't have to design everything or draw everything in XD. XD has its own strength, it's actually a prototyping tool, but you want to draw those icons with a very nice vector, you still have to do it in Illustrator. So that's actually the correct tool to use it. I'll probably make some lessons for Illustrator and Photoshop later, but this is how you import and export graphics in XD, Photoshop, and Illustrator. Now that I've gone on to continue and finish up the adding in all the Memphis design ornaments that to brighten up my design and make it livelier, I know the design is not fantastic, yeah, that's fine. Now I want to export all this out so that the developers can take my design and then after that build it into an app. I can simply go to File, Export, and then all Artboard. I'll just simply save it to my, just create a folder, Export 1, just to show you. And then when I export all Artboard out, alright, what it does is take my design and then simply save it into Flatten. This is the folder. And immerse all Artboard, whatever that you do in the design out. This is good for preview, but the developers can't take these assets and build it into the respective app because everything is flattened and merged. So what can we do? You need to select the items that you need to export. Simply go to Export now. Selected. I don't want to save it here. I want to create a new folder so that it doesn't mess up. Export to. In the design in PNG, now you have a choice whether to export the design itself, which only gives you 1x. Now we know that simply because mobile devices or iPad, they are in super high resolution, which they call it retina display. Typical graphics is actually shown at not at 72 dpi, but higher than 300 dpi. So which is why this 2x, 1x comes in. For web, you can simply export at 2x, but for iOS, there's actually 3x. Now you can have the artwork file, same file, but export in 3 different sizes. This will be very helpful for us. For Android, even better. It goes by, you can export all these things out. Simply want to stick to iOS so that I get all these 3x. And then export it out into this export tool. It's very fast. You simply have all your assets file into respective component in the exact size. This is 3x, and this is 2x, and this is 1x. Okay, 1, 2, 3 as well, and 1, 2, 3 as well. All these assets are individually export, but that's not what we want, right? Because you cannot expect the developer to take all this and then piece together the design itself. At least you want to group it together. For example, all these ornaments, they should be together in one layer, together with the background. So what I'll do is I'll simply select these ornaments that I want it to group together. I'll have it grouped together. They become one items. Oh, sorry, I actually select the text as well. I do not want the text to be in. So simply just the background as one image. So right click and group it. You can see whatever that you group, it always bring up to the foreground. Just push it to the back. The button is already a component, so component will simply export the component. The developer usually they will not use your graphic as the button. They will simply build it in HTML or their whichever apps that if they are building in Xcode, they'll simply use that to generate that based on your design. Select this item again, hamburger menu, we don't need it. So this one, just leave it there. Export, then selected again. So I don't want to mess this up again. I want to go to new, called export tree. Export it out. And export tree, you can see. Now it's a lot cleaner. There's simply buttons for you. 1x, 2x, 3x, and then the background will merge nicely for you. 1x, 2x, and 3x as well. So developers can take this and then as a background to build it into the actual app itself. And then this is just a text for the preview, for the size reference. Usually developer will not use this, your text export. They'll simply use the text that generated from the HTML or the Xcode itself that if they're developing the app. Whatever items that you want them to merge together, you have to select and then group it together. Let's do another one. Okay, have I select all? I think I do. So let's group it. And no, I think I missed out one. So let's have it to select again. And then deselect this, deselect the text, and deselect the button, and deselect this. Everything should be one group. Now I simply group it. Yep, I got it. And then put it to the back, and I just want to export this. I do not want the buttons and stuff anymore. File, export, selected. And then simply export it to, because it's just one item, that's why it's giving me this, export. So it goes into export 3, group 11. There we go. So you get the idea. So this is how you export the individual assets for the developers so that they can use it and develop into the app itself. Now you can show your prototype design to people and also export all the assets out for the developers to take your design and develop into apps. You can now also tap on the power of Photoshop and Illustrator so that you can do much more complicated bitmap and as well as vector graphics. So good luck and do a better design. So if you find my video helpful, please click like and then subscribe to Uncle Teach You channel. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.